Good vibe. Good scenery. Extra wop sauce. Let me see here. There's a gimbal on there. The gimbal. Oh yeah. Welcome. We are out chasing the sun on a Tuesday. And feels good. 2 layers. Now you can get caught out here thinking it's warm, and it's not. So 2 layers, man. But here we are, whopping. See my breath, and that feels good too. Something invigorating about it. Bad. She's already down here whopping. Go find her, man. But yeah, I'm roasting a bone. Feeling good. The difference in the temperature from the shade to the sunlight is incredible. Okay, extra whoppage. I don't know where these dogs have gone. Roasting a bone sometimes is like this. You'll lose sight of the overall scenery. But back to the sun. It's an incredible moment, really, if you think about it. Just this moment in history. It's the only one that exists. The now, right? The nowski, right? Man, how it parts the sky. I feel like I'm gonna be out here all day long. They keep saying that fall's coming and winter's coming. It's still 80 degrees, man. And that's the incredible nature of the beast. We don't know where the weather's coming from. You know, it's the sun and the moon and the mixture of the two. We don't know. But for the next 3 hours, I'd say roughly, we're gonna take an adventure through the unknown. Embark on the less embarkable. Fresh air, deep breaths, you know, chest out, make a muscle, sing a song. All these things included in the aptitude of Wappingham's Forest. Out here you will learn not to hug trees, but to be hugged by them. That is an enormous beaver dam. Now from up here, it doesn't seem like one. And they do that on purpose, those beavers. They're clever. But on that right side, excuse me. Hey, May, don't go in there. We're gonna show you the crevice, the doorway to this infamous beaver dam. Now, from here it looks like a tree. But if you look closer, over here, what you have is an opening that goes under there. And that's a legit beaver dam. Now, while you're out here, you'll see things that just look like natural habitats, but they aren't. For example, on this, those are mushrooms, but they're kind of like barnacles, man, you know? Excuse me. Hella muddy. All right, let's go back this way. So yeah, that's a legit beaver dam right there. And there's a hole on the other side that they can get into as well, which is strangely adaptable. I'm sure we'll find some turtles today, you know, living inside their home, and they don't even move out of that shell. I saw a turtle on the side of the road one time, stretching out of his shell, looking across the road. Looked like a very tall turtle, man. It's a tall tail. We're just getting going on the stream. It's good to see people coming in here. Good morning. Look at these roots, baby. What do you think about those, bro? This is my happy place, you know? There's too many sounds in that concrete jungle emanating in my mind. Now here you'll see different birds and things you really can't describe. But the sounds of the birds almost sound like they're chuckling. And they may be, we don't know. We don't know bird language, you know, whatsoever. That's a foggy camera right there. Hold on here. Hella foggy. Yeah. Let me see here. For those that did not see that dog just jump such a distance, that's much better right there. Look at that. Much better. Hey, yo, May. Is that where we're going? Okay. You help me up there? Bro, give me your paw, bro. And this is that glorious moment. This achievable enlightenment experience. Nice. The birds are awake. Off in the distance, you hear that train. It is a reminder of the concrete jungle. I don't know if you can see the different color scheme within the sun emanating in the moment. Superfluous. Superfluous. Yes. Yes. Whopping ham. Hey, May. May. We are 10 minutes into the stream. It's good to see 33 people in here. That's a good number. raising the frequency, raising the awareness of Mother Nature and how the color green in itself imprints within your mind, no matter the experience you have out there in the woods. Hey, lop sauce. It's the call of the wild, man, I'm chasing a squirrel. When this dog goes home, she can't walk. For reals. It'd be wrong for me to do this every day with them. Literally, I don't even know if that's real. The other one just kind of lurks. McLurkingham. Pop sauce. The real question is, how did that piece of plastic get up into that tree? And you'll see that out here. Buckets way up in the... Hey, don't cross that river. Come over here. Get over here. Just taking a bath, running up a hill. Oh, what a thrill. Then we go back and we chase down the sun. Now this pattern, if repeated, the matriculation of harmonious reverberation is in many ways a constant, you know? The sun is always there, or the moon is there in its place, but imagine the darkness out here would be so dark that you would want nothing to do with it. True story. Sleeping out here, there's black bears and snakes. And black bears with snakes, you know. I just mean, you know, in their mouths maybe. But that would be frightening to anyone. You'd have to sleep up in that tree. True story. You'd have to sleep in that tree to not be crawled on by something. I remember when I was a young man and I was sneaking out of my house. And nobody told me about the woods and how it was at nighttime. And I never forget, I slept on the forest floor to go meet this girl. Waited for her. And it just so happens her parents caught her. And I didn't know this. Back then we didn't have cell phones. We just had to meet at places. So I fell asleep out there in these woods, waiting for this woman, this girl. And I'll never forget, I didn't sleep at all. Because I had on me spiders, beetles. Spiders that look like beetles, and vice versa. Crawling all over me. What'd you find? Dinner? Squirrel? Squirrel bird? A bird squirrel. Yes. Only in Wapahan Forest will you find a bird that is potentially a squirrel. I'm back at the moon. Ha ha ha! All right, onward. You're not about that life. You better climb that tree. That's what I thought. Fall back. We are 15 minutes into the live stream of Wapenham's Forest. I welcome you all. Raising the awareness of frequency, raising the density levels. That's all we can do is vibe hard. As the sun parts the foliage, the train reminds us of how we harvest the earth for resources that we may actually not need anymore. Motion itself could be harnessed as energy. True story. True story. What a disruption. They're down here in the rock garden. I don't know if you can hear me. These are all beaver dams. I feel like there's a bunch of angry beavers out here. It's kind of like the concrete jungle. It's the same way. Wapsals. Bunch of angry beavers that need to be flopped on. That was a small train. Look at this. It's another dam. You just don't see it. Very small train. Nice. Flop sauce. Those look like deer antlers. It's about that time for the deers to have antlers. Wild how trees that are knocked down have so much character. You know, that spiral within that tree is cool. Extra wop sauce out here, man. Oh, yes. Very early. Over the next 3 hours, we're gonna truly attempt to understand the creation of this, how it all even makes sense. Because it doesn't. Look at that. You can't hear it, but it's there. That moment. The reality is it's an outdated technology, no matter what they tell you. They could harness the sun from here without using coal. And that's the truth. We are 20 minutes into the stream. Feels like 20 seconds, you know? Just out here raising awareness and ultimate understanding. The true knowledge is free. especially with the option to use internet. You could essentially type in anything that you needed to know. You would. College is almost obsolete on that level. AI and the awakening of quantum. What are we as humans even going to partake in on our own time? You can always remember that going outside is by far the best way to experience life. So that's why they got to trap us in the house. It's incredible how that works. All these amenities. That's the sun part. There's trash at the most random times, right? And that sun will part this at any moment and change the entirety of the landscape. And that's the best time to be out here. 100%. Looks like a good walking stick from here. Let's see if that's... That'll work. All right, let's go. Having a walking stick's like having a third leg. Or fourth, you know, if you've been blessed like that. Let's see. I don't know if you can hear the train in the distance. What it's actually doing is stopping there. Some type of connection that it needs to make with the next train. So on and so forth. You can hear gunshots in the distance. It's always good to know that you're welcome, you know. Oh, I can see sunlight. Wappingham. Oh yeah, baby. That's what you have to do. You have to find that sweet spot where the sun already is. And that looks like a face right there. You know? You see it. That's a face. Find the sun. We will find the sun. Roast a bone. We will roast some bones. What an adventure this actually is, you know, in many ways. Superfluous. Man, it's one of those words. There's so many different variations of each word. It's incredible. I've always known that the language we speak is such a powerful one, you know? Ookie. Ookies. What are you doing? Whoppage. Hey, yo, May. Mayzilla. Yeah, we got to bridge the gap here. What you have is some type of home of a troll or goblin-esque figure. We'll go around it. But in there, it seems like some type of valley for the goblins. Hey, May, come over here. Yeah, she's way out there. And that's what you have to remember, man. Dogs are animals, just like you. And when you want to run and leave, nobody screaming at you is going to stop you either. And if it does, you're not that wild. You're not that cool. Sometimes you got to just run, you know. All right, this is definitely a hobbit house, 100%. It would have to be. That's not a natural hill. You'll find a hole somewhere. Yo, where's that other dog at? Hey, yo, May. Mayzilla. This, in fact, is why you feed dogs rare meat, raw meat, not ramen. They'll remember. It'll click when she's not able to find that squirrel or that deer. Hey, yo, May, come on. Yeah, it clicked. Good job. You did good. We need to put a GoPro on you immediately. We are a half hour into the stream. Nobody wants to hear me sing, and that's understandable. I mean, I enjoy hearing me sing, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, you could still be tone deaf and not know it. But here we are on the trail of life. Hey, Duke, he's cool. He's cool. Hey. Sorry about that, man. Hey, come here. It's okay, come on. And that dude was cool, you know? He smelled like a French whore, but he was cool. There's a lot of people, they see dogs out there, like, oh man, they start screaming. It's a strange moment for everyone involved, you know? We're just out here whopping, man. That's all we can do. Extra whop sauce. We got us a walking stick, thriving, pushing forward, back straight, right? Chest out, chin up, positive thoughts. That's all you can do. Hey, yo, Ucas, come here, bruh. Go down here, bruh. Oh, yeah. It's nice out here, man. It's finally not so hot. This is somewhat the same hike I take variations of it, you know. I'm gonna attempt to be out here for 3+ hours, and it feels good. Being out here this long, it puts a different spin on life. You go back to all that electricity, it's strange, man. See, it's Halloween all month out here. 100%. Incredible. Man. Just one spot where the sun is. Right. It'll peek through in that moment. The reminder of it all. And how powerful the light is that's broadcasted from that. Wappingham. Oh. You have to announce to the woods that you're here. That's all the people on the bank. I was saying yesterday or something like this, like, man, it sounds like, I can only imagine, they probably think it's a war cry. Like, honey, get my gun. This ain't here Wappingham Forest, this ain't something else. And that's probably how it all went to begin with. Who actually was calling the shots to say, well, this is my land. This is my land, and so on and so forth. It belongs to the trees. No matter what you think, the trees will be here long after we're gone. You would think, unless this is just a matrix of the mind, and then none of it exists anyway. Out here in Wappingham Forest, all we know is solidarity. Wop sauce. And something definitely lives inside of that. You can tell. It's covered with thorns. Like literally right now, I am stuck by thorns. Look at these. That was put there on purpose. All around the beginning of that. That's really smart, man. And you'll see that all throughout here is holes in the trees with huge amounts of thorns grown in front of the entrances. So think about that. That's like an intelligent ordeal there, you know? Onward. Wop sauce. Hey, Wappingham. Man, check this out, man. This is cool. Just to be under this. Man, look at that tree, man. It's enormous. Those gunshots sounded pleasant from here. That tree is probably older than 100 years, I would say. That's incredible. To think the redwoods are probably 4 times that size. I don't know how old redwoods are, but I can imagine they're maybe, you know, a few hundred years old. Maybe. Off in the distance, what you have is the fifth dimension. For the fourth is time in itself. Bang, bang. The question is, if those bullets are moving so fast, are they not time traveling? I ask these questions. We are almost 40 minutes in, and no one likes this. Apparently, no one has said anything or dropped a like. You're all bots. We know that now. View bots to help me in my conquest. I'm okay with it, you know, and that's the dreadful number scheme of vanity and narcissism. If people think that someone else likes something, someone else is viewing this, then they got to look at it. It's all a part of the same monster. None of us know who's who. Hey, yo, mate. Hey, Sadie. Hey, Sadie, I'm talking to you. I know you can hear me. Those ears are huge. Yeah, that was it. That was her last straw. She was calling on that note. Mop sauce. That's what we're out here doing, man. We got us a vicious walking apparatus that covers like a solid, you know what I mean, 6 foot radius. There's the sun again, and you really got to stop and cherish it because it's much cooler outside of the sun. Much cooler. Let's play. Can anyone identify that bullet? It's nice to have silence, though. Really, even with those gunshots, randomly, I'm still much better off than being surrounded by Wi-Fi devices. And yeah, extra wop sauce. Now, up here to the left, in many ways, is where we discovered an unexplainable species of translucent nature. The origins yet unknown. No actual information on this species that we discovered within this tree. However, it has been documented several times on the channel, one of the main videos. Hey, May, come here. May. Hey, yo, May. May. Come here. Ha! Right up in this right here, in this tree, is in many ways some type of species that no one knows the actual origin of. It's worth looking up on the channel. One of the main videos. But yeah, that's a hollow tree right there. And I come here every day that I do this stream just to glance at it. But it's much deeper than you would think. Regardless. Wop sauce. You know, extra McWhoppingham. Oh yeah, this is definitely a simulation. There's no doubt. I only say that because of the constant replication of the daily routine and its groundhog effect. How many times have I been here in this moment? I would say just one, but it feels like a continuous cycle because of the moon and the sun and how that all works. But this is a quintessential passageway of the forest. You shall not pass, is what I would say if I was, a wizard. Let's see here. Up there, that enormous tree trunk off in the distance looks gigantic still. It took down other trees in its monstrosity and created quite possibly a work of art that in many ways couldn't be duplicated. Autumn is coming. All over the place. Sprouting and yeah, showing herself. Bang! Man, that sounded like Civil War is afoot. I mean, we all know what's coming. But out here in Wappingham Forest, we don't have time to dwell on obvious petty squabble. We are out here with one mission at hand, and that is to understand the meaning of life. Now, as we are out here, we must understand that up there in the moon, that spherical, cylindrical object in the sky that defies physics and gravity and what we know mathematically, always remember, for now, there's another one out there too. So the moon's not actually there to stop other objects from orbiting our planet, interfering with our gravity or atmosphere. The moon's there to observe. And that it does, it observes. And just like these gunshots, we're traveling like a bullet on a sphere, supposedly through the proverbial galaxy, and spinning at the same time. It's very peculiar. She's discovered something we may need to pay attention to. That's a rifle, for sure. For sure. Hey, May, I see you up there. Whopping. It's very quiet, and then it's not. I shall put my walking stick there for now. Put you on this leash. It's a little too quiet. Wop sauce. Oh, come on. You have to be prepared out here. There's other people lurking from time to time with dogs that are, to Rottweilers, offensive for some reason. He's cool with certain people, but then he's not, and it's not cool all at once. We are 45 minutes into the stream. I welcome you all. Raising the frequency, understanding the nature of the beast. The day-to-day life. Is it different at all? That's the question. As we watch Mother Nature change. The question remains, are we in a simulation? Now, go ahead, bud. Even if our creation is augmented reality, right? It doesn't mean we don't exist. It just means we exist in someone else's reality, which is not that far-fetched. It's really not that, no pun intended. But yeah, that's what's incredible about this, is we don't know what we're seeing. We're seeing light projected from another light source. 100%. It's like your head's attached to a projector. Come on, bro. Good job. Wop sauce. Now I'm gonna let you run up here, but you gotta be good, okay? We're making a deal. Go ahead, go. But yeah. That's the incredible thing about it, is you move your eyes because your brain tells you to, right? You move your hands and your feet. So thoughts are projected from an outside source, just like the sun would be a projection of light. And it's heavy because you really don't know from within what you're, man, that was exhilarating. I mean, it wouldn't be America if you didn't have some gunshots in the background, really, if you think about it. So yeah, if you think of sound, for example, that's what you're hearing, loud noises right now. Hey, come over here. Both of you. You're just hearing noises, right? And you're seeing visuals. It's coming from your brain. Your brain is, and your ears are projecting noise. They're taking vibration in and projecting what you hear. But it all stems from the mind. And that in itself tells you it's a simulation. It's not. Come on. If it's just coming from the source of the brain, I mean, simulatory. I think it takes 1/4 of your brain to move your eyes. So that goes back to your cerebral cortex is 30% of your brain when it comes to, that's your reptile brain, right? So defeating that is really the main purpose of the existential pineal gland. That's the only external gland. But it's light based in its transference. I mean, you go to sleep because it gets dark. And that same gland pumps melatonin. So the point is, your hypothalamus is a divide in your brain. All these fancy names were created by man, who still, at the end of the day, don't know the original creator of the brain. It would have to be another brain. And I think it was the original Dune, D-U-N-E, the one from the 80s with Sting, the singer, that portrayed the fourth civilization. I think they were at least third phase or fourth phase civilization, created planets. They were the ones creating all the planets and the stars with their mind. And that's heavy. That's really heavy. But all they were was this huge brain. That's what they were to begin with. Huge brain. Hey, don't fall for that trap over there. You found dinner. That's awesome. We'll come back to this spot. Come on, let's go. Ookie. Ookus, manukus. McPucus. All right. But yeah, that's incredible, man. You won't. Most movies depict all the aliens as having legs and arms, but there's this one that just pretty much tells you that the baddest mamma jamma out there, the aliens that are creating stars, are just huge brains, and the contents within them are what they spew out. The contents within their actual being are what creating stars, and it's fascinating. I mean, if infinite galaxies exist, right? Infinite stars, infinite planets. We may be living in a brain. In a huge brain. And that makes a lot of sense because of the connections that are made between stars. If you look at it from that angle, they're all connected with the same energy field. And so are the planets in some regard. It's a cosmic web, I think is the human term for it. But so this means outside of the spectrum of darkness, right? So outside of the spectrum of light, to where black holes, whatever's creating black holes, right? Is it an exploding star and a planet that, what's on the other side of these warp holes, right? It would have to be light, right? So outside of the structure of light would have to be an ectoplasmic infinite source of creation, which is pi. Essentially, it is a number scheme. It's pi, because pi just never ends, man. So this ratio, this creation ratio, and this constant numerical representation of existence, which is once again pi. Hey, May. She's gone again. She needs to chill out for a little bit. Is our creator. And that's heavy, man. Curtis, Julius Curtis. Yeah, that's exactly right. Accusing you of that, literally of that. Just a cell, Just a cell. It's wild, isn't it? Hey, come here. Don't run away from me. You dogs. We have made it to the promised land in many ways. The land of promise. Oh, sometimes you gotta crack an egg to make an omelet. Whoopsies. Yes. We have landed. Almost an hour in to Wappingham's extravaganza. That was Scottish Wappingham showing his roots. But out here, don't know. Eugene Hager, R.I.P. Look at that bird. That's cool, man. There's a blue bird in my eye. And the moon is omnipresent. So as I was saying earlier about the truth of observance, we aren't. If we're in anything other than a simulation, I would be surprised. The word natural in itself is a word that has to be spoken into existence, right? So it's up for debate, regardless of what we consider natural or not. We wouldn't know what actually was natural, is really the point in this. It seems presumptuous to me, almost gullible to think, well, artificial light is needed. So we need artificial light to exist, or it's pitch black at night. Without the moon, think about this. When you don't have almost a full moon, when it's at its, first couple phases, and you're really not seeing it, bruh, it's so dark outside, it's eerie. Unless you live in the city. It is beautiful out here, I appreciate that. It is, isn't it? But unless you live in the city, right, where you never really see, the stars. But in the woods, man, I'm telling you right now, the reality is daunting how dark it is. Now, when the moon is present, it's much easier to navigate. Now, that's the point that I'm making, is like, if you read the old books, they all differ from knowledge to knowledge in the sense of, one book will tell you the moon was created right after the sun, right? Another book will tell you the moon was created many, many millennia, millions and millions and billions of years after that, right? Because a lot of these tribes said the moon was brought here. Right? So that means that the reality still comes down to whenever the moon showed up, right? In that regard is when the light came at night. True story, But let's think about that. If you ask Google where the moon came from, it will tell you that it formed it formed based off of the orbit of our Earth. Space junk essentially created the spherical moon that you see today. And so that's three different opinions. We have one, the Bible will say it's all created in 7 days, right? You have two. That's right, Julie Curtis. That's exactly right. Thank you. Very heavy. So are my shoulder blades. So you have the second one. They say, look, man, the moon was brought here, right? And they all say this. This is not just one like the Mayans or the Ephesians. You're talking about hundreds of different languages talking about the moon being brought here, right? But Google will tell you that it was over time created. Now, if you look at the surrounding moons and the surrounding planets in our solar system, there's only, out of 1,000 of them, there's only a couple that actually are cylindrical, that are circular like our moon, right? There's only a couple. And what they find on all of them, just out of the 3 or 4, is equators. They find equators. Now, not like you would think of an equator. Okay, not like on the Earth. Not like on the Earth. It would be more so about the opposite. They're finding equators that are, go play, go do something, man, go play. You don't have to be up on me like that. Go ahead. All right. As soon as I throw something for her, she's gonna start barking at me, and it's gonna ruin this out here. I don't want to be barked at right now. All right, you need to go do something, man. And the reality is this. The equators that they find on these moons are not like you would think on Earth, right? But are they not? Because what you're seeing is a 3D representation of a sphere, right? Whether it's an Earth or a moon or a sun. Our equator goes all the way around the planet. So we always just see the Earth from space, quote unquote, and it's always essentially this spherical flat object that you don't see the other side of. But that's the same on the moon. It's the same thing for the moon. The equator, it's essentially the welding, it's a welding mark, man. So two halves were put together in layman's terms, right? What is that? Go get that. Go get that. That's essentially what it is. You're seeing the half. Now the other side, which we still have not seen, which should blow your mind, that you have not seen the dark side of the moon, right? Frankly, you haven't seen the other side of anything, because the way the sun broadcasts light, the planets then thereafter adhere to said broadcast. And that's why, we can see the Earth, or we can see the moon. It's the sun. But you're still only seeing a 3D representation. Right? When I look up right now, you're only seeing half. Where's the other half? It's not there. And that's the same for the moon. Where did it go? right? So let's find the moon, right? It's the same thing. So where's it at? Hold on. I know it's out here. Oh, it's gone now, right? Gone. So we just saw it a minute ago. But now it's gone. If that's not some type of false reality, if the color blue in itself, and colors in themselves are all based off of the light projection of your mind, then this, my friends, is a simulation. And look up the video, Julie, with the quarter, me flipping the quarter from yesterday. It'll explain flat earth theory. 100%. It will explain the flat earth, and it might actually debunk many ideals that you've heard. True story. And I am just a theologian, as we all are. So regardless of what school you went to, or if you ever did, just remember, this is knowledge. The now, right? Not then, right? Not the future. The future is now. So there is no future and there is no past, only the now. And that means that right there, for example, if you could see that object flying right there, now, you may not be able to, all right? But I've seen Tic Tac ships above me with no contrails. But the point is, you got to look up the truth about Phobos, the moon of Mars. You have to look up when we came together. We came together with the Soviets, okay, the cosmonauts. And the reality is we sent Phobos 1 and 2, rather the Russians did. They sent Phobos 1 and 2 to this moon of Mars, right? And they always send 2 probes. They send 2 probes because one always fails. Not always, but the chances are high. So one of them failed as they expected, and the second one was interjected with, on its way to Phobos. And they caught a photo. There were classified photos of what this probe pictured before it was malfunctioned in the orbit of Mars. So it didn't even make it. It made it close enough for it to see. And these photos were put back and classified for 30 years. Something to this effect, 20 years, right? And you got to look it up, Phobos 1 and 2, what they saw before these probes were interfered with, right? Really what it was a cigar-shaped object, okay? A very large cigar-shaped object. I mean, you're talking about a mothership. Now, if you look up Venus, for example, and what NASA has discovered within their orbit is a huge mothership within their orbit. It's an object that takes up 15-20% of their overall air density. It's something enormous that they can't identify, that shouldn't be there. Hey, May. But that's the truth. They just, they put this stuff out there, and then if you don't see it, if you don't find it, hey, May, come here, wop sauce. Guess we'll go back the other direction. But that's the truth. So what we have, hey, May, come down here. She's tripping. She'll see a bird and she'll be gone for so long. Ooh, don't go up there, bruh. Hey, come here. On one. Yeah! But that's the truth. See, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which is no longer a planet. And all I can surmise, the reason why Pluto would no longer be a planet, or considered one, is it's farther away, or too small to be considered a planet. But if you look at what they've discovered, what Google will tell you about super Earth, it's called Diamond Planet, and it's 5,000 light years from us. And it's a super Earth, 100%, made out of diamonds. Look that one up. And I had a dream about discovering it. True story. And I was a ship. I was integrated within robotics. And I discovered the planet through my radar system, and the ship itself told me what its contents were. And not only that, did I land on the planet and interact mentally with the residents of said planet, and they were just like us. Could you imagine that? People just like us on other planets that are oblivious to interplanetary life. Now that's the question. Why? Why is Earth being held back? Is it a harvest? Is that what you're seeing up in the sky? Is a bunch of defense mechanisms? Or is it a projection of the mind? Which would make more sense than any. So what you're seeing right now is the Matrix.